We're driving from Johnson City, Tennessee to Asheville, North Carolina, and we're on our way to see the Biltmore Mansion. Right now we're driving through the Appalachians, and it's an area called the Blue Ridge Mountains. The views are beautiful. We just arrived in North Carolina and we are heading into the Biltmore Mansion, and it's Christmas time, so we're really looking forward to see all the decor and learn a little bit more about the history of the Biltmore Mansion in North Carolina. So I highly suggest that you do buy your tickets online and be sure to get the audio tour. The audio tour is definitely a must. You're going to drive quite a ways on the Vanderbilt property before you reach the Biltmore Mansion, and then you'll park your car, hop on a shuttle, and the shuttle will bring you the rest of the way to the mansion. Once we get to the mansion, we do have a time slot when we can enter the mansion, and that way it keeps the flow of people to a minimum. So be sure to have your comfortable walking shoes on. There's a lot of walking to do, not only inside of the estate, but on the grounds. The first thing that we noticed when we got to the Biltmore Mansion were all of the gargoyles. There were hundreds of them, and they're all different. We're getting ready to embark on this wonderful journey at this beloved estate's tradition known as Christmas at Biltmore, when the America's largest home and the entire estate are at their most enchanting. Christmas at Biltmore. By day, the elegant rooms of Biltmore House shimmer, beautifully bedecked with Christmas trees, ribbons, garlands, and thousands of twinkling lights. As we wander through the rooms of the Biltmore Mansion, let me tell you a bit of history about it. It all started back in 1862, when George Washington Vanderbilt is born on Staten Island. As a grandson of famed shipping entrepreneur and industrialist Cornelius the Commodore Vanderbilt, George Vanderbilt takes his place among one of America's wealthiest and best-known families. In 1888, George Vanderbilt visits Asheville, North Carolina for the first time. The beauty of the Blue Ridge Mountains captivates George Vanderbilt, and he considers the area as a location for his new country home. Shortly after, he begins purchasing land for what will become Biltmore. He hires Richard Morris Hunt to design and build the home, and Frederick Law Olmsted to design the gardens and grounds. In 1889, construction of the Biltmore House begins, and George Vanderbilt's 250-room French Renaissance chateau is a true marvel, the largest undertaking in residential architecture in the nation. Over a 6-year period, an entire community of craftsmen come together to create America's premier home and the remarkable gardens and grounds that surround it. In 1895, George Vanderbilt officially opens Biltmore to family and friends. On Christmas Eve, the country retreat George Vanderbilt has spent so long planning is marvelously decorated and full of festivity. The finished home contains more than 4 acres of floor space, including 35 bedrooms, 43 baths, and 65 fireplaces. In 1898, George Vanderbilt marries Edith Stuyvesant, dresser in Paris. Edith is a descendant of Peter Stuyvesant, the first governor of Dutch colonial New York. After honeymooning in Italy, George and Edith returned to live at Biltmore. In 1900, Cornelia Stuyvesant Vanderbilt is born at Biltmore. George and Edith's only child is born on the evening of August 22nd in the Louis XV room in Biltmore House. It is a celebrity birth even by modern standards. In 1900, construction of the main dairy and horse barn begins. The horse barn is a thriving social and work center for the families who farmed Biltmore and the agricultural heart of the estate. It remains a unique connection to the estate's past. And sadly, in 1914, George Vanderbilt passes away at the age of 51. George Vanderbilt is buried in the Vanderbilt family mausoleum on Staten Island. He leaves a legacy of philanthropy, which Edith continues, selling approximately 87,000 acres of the estate to the United States Forest Service for less than $5 an acre. Pisgah National Forest, which includes the cradle of forestry, is one of the first national forests east of the Mississippi River. In 1924, Cornelia Vanderbilt marries the Honorable John Francis Amherst Cecil. The Cecils are wed at All Souls Church in Biltmore Village, and Edith Vanderbilt escorting her daughter. In 1925, George Vanderbilt's first grandson is born, Cornelia and John's first son. George Henry Vanderbilt Cecil is born in the Louis XV room where Cornelia herself was born. And in 1928, the Cecils welcomed their second son. Cornelia and John's second son, William Amherst Vanderbilt Cecil, is born also in the Louis XV room. In 1930, Cornelia and John Cecil opened Biltmore House to the public. The Cecils respond to requests to increase area tourism during the Depression and to generate income to preserve the estate. In 1942, the Biltmore House stores art during World War II. And during the war, the house stores priceless works from the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. In 1960, William Amherst Vanderbilt Cecil returns to Biltmore, leaving his banking career in New York. William joins his brother George in managing the estate, focusing on self-sufficiency and preserving the estate's historic splendor. And in 1963, Biltmore is officially nominated as a National Historic Landmark. The original landmark designation was based on the theme Conservation of Natural Resources. And in 1971, William Cecil plants his first grapevines just below Biltmore House. The inaugural wine vintage is bottled in the Conservatory basement. Less than pleased with his first bottling, William Cecil travels to France and brings back sixth-generation winemaster Philippe Jourdain to be Biltmore's first winemaker. And in 1983, the Biltmore Estate Wine Company is established. Construction begins on a new state-of-the-art winery in what has been the estate's dairy barn. Mr. Cecil's son, William, Bill A.V. Cecil Jr. assumes leadership of the renovation. And in 1985, Biltmore's winery opens to the public. Mr. Cecil proclaims it the most historic event since my grandfather had opened his estate to his family on Christmas Day 90 years earlier. In 1995, William Bill A.V. Cecil Jr. is named president and CEO of the Biltmore Company. 100 years after his grandfather, George Vanderbilt, opened Biltmore House to family and friends, Mr. Cecil retires. His son, Bill Cecil, assumes leadership of the company. And in 1995, Bernard DeLilly becomes winemaster and vice president. Philippe Jourdain retires as French native Bernard DeLilly, who joined Biltmore as an assistant winemaker in 1986, succeeds him. And in 2001, the Inn on Biltmore Estates opens. George Vanderbilt's initial plans in 1900 to create an inn never materialized in his lifetime. The idea finally becomes a reality with the Inn on Biltmore Estate, offering guests a personal taste of Vanderbilt hospitality. And in 2005, the Market Gardener's Cottage, the first of the cottages on Biltmore Estate, opens to overnight guests. The historic structure in 1896 is transformed into the first of Biltmore's premier lodging options for overnight guests, the cottages on Biltmore Estate. And in 2010, Antler Hill Village opens. Antler Hill Village expands Biltmore's legacy of entertainment and hospitality for a new generation, with an exhibition space and new opportunities for shopping, dining, and outdoor activities. Biltmore is honored for environmental stewardship. The Asheville Green Works Hall of Fame Award is presented to Biltmore for its sustainability initiatives, including a new solar array and a tree protection project. And in 2015, Village Hotel on Biltmore Estate opens. A casual hotel is built in Antler Hill Village to serve more overnight guests who wish to experience Vanderbilt-inspired hospitality. And in 2017, William Amherst Vanderbilt Cecil passes away at the age of 89. Bill Cecil, Mr. Cecil's son and president and CEO of the Biltmore Company, states, "My father's legacy is immeasurable for our family. He will always be remembered for his leadership, vision, and dedication to the Biltmore. He had the foresight to do what everyone thought was impossible. He spent many years in devotion to the preservation of Biltmore, determined to make the estate self-supporting by developing its appeal to tourism." In 2017, Diana Deanie Cecil Pickering is named chair of the board of directors. Deanie, daughter of William Vanderbilt Amherst Cecil and sister to Biltmore's CEO and president, Bill Cecil, assumes a greater role, having previously served as vice chair of the board of directors. And in 2018, Sharon Fenchak becomes head winemaker and vice president. Bernard DeLilly retires, and Sharon Fenchak, who joined Biltmore's winery production team as an assistant winemaker in 1999 and was promoted to winemaker in 2003, succeeds him. And in 2021, the Dairy's Foreman's Cottage, the second of cottages on Biltmore Estate, opens. Tucked within the woodlands behind Biltmore's four-star inn, this casual home is the next historic structure reimagined to offer guests a private oasis of service, style, and charm. And in 2022, the Line House Cottages, part of cottages on Biltmore Estates, open. These cozy historic homes not only offer guests a step back in time to Vanderbilt's era, they also provide a special glimpse to the estate's agricultural heritage. After touring the Biltmore Mansion, we stopped for refreshment and view the shops on the Biltmore Estate. From here, we're off to see the gardens. We're getting ready to immerse ourselves in the historic gardens of the Biltmore. And to design gardens and grounds as majestic as Biltmore House, George Vanderbilt hired Frederick Law Olmsted, By the way, he was the one that designed the gardens over in Central Park in New York. And Frederick Law Olmsted, the father of American landscape design. Today, Biltmore's Gardens and Grounds are a horticultural paradise with 8,000 acres of indoor and outdoor beauty to enjoy, from events and tours to garden-related seminars that evolve with each season. You may need more than one day to experience it all. Morning in the gardens are a delight of early morning bird song, cooler temperatures, and the beauty of first light as it filters into the gardens. This peaceful experience is yours to enjoy before most daytime guests arrive. The Biltmore Gardens are considered to be in the top 10 botanical gardens of the world, and Travel and Leisure magazine. The Biltmore's Conservatory shines at Christmas. In addition to 8,000 acres to explore and enjoy, be sure to visit the soaring glass conservatory, where lush, festive poinsettia displays complement a vast array of exotic tropical plants. Here at the Biltmore, you can explore all their grounds at your own pace. You can enjoy leisurely walks along the French Broad River, through dense forest, or peaceful open meadows. You can hike the grounds of Biltmore at your own pace with their extensive network of trails, or you can explore by bike. Well, getting ready to wrap this up, you've been road trekking with Row and Low. We really enjoyed touring the Biltmore Mansion at Christmas. It was a fascinating and historical experience, and it's something that we would love to do again at different times during the year. The gardens during spring and summer would be absolutely amazing. The winter gardens were just as beautiful. If you haven't already subscribed, please do, and if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.